What's up, guys? Today I'm going to be cooking what I think is the best item in barbecue. And it's not pork ribs and it's not brisket, so let's get right to it. Alright, so the cut of meat I'm talking about is beef ribs. So if anyone's cooked these before, I think they'll agree with me that they believe that this is the best barbecue item to cook. It is absolutely delicious. Very similar to a brisket, but the cook time is much shorter, which is fantastic. Plus, it's so cool to have those exposed bones on there. Let's get into trimming this, seasoning, so we can get it out on the smoker. So I'll just give you a little closer look at these beef ribs, see how wide these ribs are here. That's going to tell you you have some plate ribs on your hands probably. And then another telltale will be the 3 bones on the back instead of having the 4 bones, like a chuck short rib will have. So now with beef ribs, another great thing about them, minimal trimming. With a brisket, a lot of work to get that thing trimmed. But you could actually just leave this thing as is and cook it just like this, and a lot of people do like to do that. For me, I like to come in here and take some of this fat off the top. There's so much fat inside this meat, you're not really gonna need it on the top. There's also a little layer of silver skin under here, so I prefer to kind of trim this fat cap off of this thing. Let's go ahead and start trimming this off. Try not to take any of that good meat with it. All right, so that looks pretty good to me. Now, a lot of times with these beef ribs, one of these sides is gonna have a nice fat pocket on it, kind of like this. I like to just leave that on. Like I said, some of this fat can stay. You wanna take a good majority off the top, though I found this works best with beef ribs. And again, if you wanna leave that on there, be my guest. But I'm telling you, this is the way I like to do it. Always seems to come out great for me. Because now that we got that fat cap off, check that out. You can see all this intermuscular marbling this piece of meat has. We are not gonna need that nice fat cap on there, I'm telling you. Now let's talk about membranes. So this has a pretty thick membrane on it. You can pull it off if you want, but I really prefer to leave it on here because it's gonna keep our ribs together when they cook. And as you can see, there's also a lot of fat in here, so I don't want to lose all that. I'd like to leave that on the bottom, just let it melt and render down. It's gonna make the meat taste phenomenal. Once they're finished cooking, you can easily pull this membrane off. So I'm gonna leave it on like this, and I suggest you do the same because it's gonna keep your beef ribs together real nice. That's our beef rib trim. Not bad at all. And we don't have any reason to season the bottom, so don't even worry about wasting your time with that. But do make sure to get your edges. But today I'm using that SPG blend that I use on absolutely everything. And what this consists of is 2 parts black pepper, 1 part kosher salt, half a part of paprika powder, and a half a part of garlic powder. This is a great all-purpose rub. Use it on everything. With these beef ribs, you can just go salt and pepper. That would be fine too, but I really like the added benefit of the paprika for color, and the garlic powder adds some great flavor. Get all the seasoning up off the board here. And there we go. Beautiful rack of beef ribs, and this is all ready for the smoker. So let's go ahead and get it on. All right, so I got my smoker at 250 degrees right now, burning that oak and maple. I'm just gonna get these beef ribs, lay them down on the grate, nothing special at all. That is it. Close this thing up. Now we're just gonna let this thing smoke. So we just want to let these beef ribs build up a beautiful bark. We want to let them get plenty of smoke flavor. So I'm going to try and run my smoker around 250 degrees. The majority of this cook, it's probably going to be between 250 and 275 most of the time. That would be my guess. For time, I'm thinking around the 4 or 5 hour mark until these are ready to pull off and get them wrapped. I'm going to let these things roll on the smoker. After about 2 hours, I'll probably go out there and check it. So I'll see you then. All right, so we are 3.5 hours in on these beef ribs. These things look fantastic. You can see we got nice pullback from the bone. That's a sign that these are ready to wrap. Same on the other side. Our bark is looking fantastic. Let's check this thing for tenderness and temperature. Oh yeah, it's feeling nice and tender. See what we got for a temp on these. So we're at 182 degrees. This is perfect. They're ready to wrap, so let's get them off. All right, for these beef ribs, I'm gonna be wrapping with butcher paper. All right, here's our beef ribs give these things a look, huh? They got a really beautiful bark going on here. Very happy with how these things are looking so far. If you look at this other side, see a lot of this meat is pulled off here. That's pretty common with beef ribs. You'll find that one side of these are gonna have a lot of fat and it's gonna shrink down a lot like that. Don't be alarmed. There's usually one bone that doesn't have that much meat, but that middle bone right there, that's gonna be your money bone. Cut that thing out, it's gonna look beautiful. But enough talking about these things, let's get them wrapped up and back on the smoker. Get these down on the paper, and here I have some beef tallow. It's solidified, but it'll work fine. So we'll take a few chunks of these, throw them down on the paper. I usually like to heat this up till it's liquid again, then just dump it over, but this will be fine. Put on a nice amount of beef tallow here, just like that. Beautiful pile of beef tallow. All right, now let's just take our beef ribs, lay that right down on the beef tallow we just put down, and get these things wrapped up. Just make sure they're nice and tight. There we go. All right, these are all wrapped up, and just like a brisket, we're gonna get this back on the smoker and let it go until around the 200 mark, till it's nice and probe tender. At that point, I'll pull them off, let them rest for an hour or two, and they'll be ready to slice up. So let's get these out on the smoker. All wrapped up, ready to go. Thinking about a couple more hours, but I'll see you back out here when we check them again. For now, let's get them back and let them keep cooking. All right. These beef ribs have been on for another 2.5 hours, wrapped up in the butcher paper. Let's give them a check for tenderness. Ooh, like butter. I think these are ready. All right, so for temperature, we are at 199, perfect. So I'm gonna get these off. I'm gonna let them rest for 1 to 2 hours. Then I will see you guys to slice this thing up, and I'm gonna give it a try. Here's the beef ribs. I let them rest for 1 hour. Let's get these unwrapped, see how they came out. Very hot still. Oh, yeah. Nice. Very nice. Okay. Check them out. Man, oh man, these look good. Beautiful bark on here, but you can't see too well. Let's get a nice close-up look of these beef ribs. Check these beef ribs out. These things look amazing, huh? Beautiful bark on here, super tender. These are going to be good. Now, as you can see, a little loose bone here. Yeah, nice. So let's go ahead, cut these last 2 ribs right in half. Oh yeah, check that thing out, huh? Beautiful beef rib, super juicy, absolutely incredible. Check out that smoke ring. This is a beautiful piece of meat. You can already tell how tender that's gonna be. This is why I think this is one of the best cuts. No, that's why I think this is the best cut in barbecue. Forget a brisket. You saw how quick it took. Let's check this side out. Oh yeah, just as nice. Oh, juicy, juicy. Look at that. Amazing. That's beautiful. Let me cut this little piece off here. This looks like a perfect taste tester. Nice and tender. Beautiful smoke ring. Check out the bark we got on there. That is great. So let me slice this up and give it a try. Oh yeah, check that out. Just like a brisket burn end, we got some beef rib burn ends. This is going to be amazing, so I need to give it a try. Oh my God, wow. Man, I really forgot how good beef ribs are. I haven't had them in a while, so good. They got beautiful texture to them. These have a nice bark, very simple with that rub on there, nothing special. Not as heavy feeling as a brisket with the savoriness, but this is like a perfect medium between the flat and the point. Guys, beef ribs are the best barbecue item. I don't care what anyone says. They are fantastic. Plus, check this out. Come on. These are so delicious. This is such a cool barbecue item. On top of that, compared to a brisket, this thing cooks so much faster. That's why I love beef ribs, and I think it is the best barbecue item out there to cook. So get out there and try it. But thanks for watching this video. I really hope you liked it. If you did, make sure to give it a like. If you're a new viewer, subscribe to my channel right over here. I got a new video coming out every week. You won't want to miss them. And if you want to see another one of my videos, check it out right over here. But thanks again, and most importantly, guys, get out there and smoke something good.